Check one, check two, and we are back. Good morning, everyone. Happy weekend, probably. Right now, it is currently Friday. I playing hooky from work. Didn't go into the warehouse today. Had a late night. Had to deal with some shit, and yeah. So ended up going to the gym. And sometimes when my night gets fucked up, my sleep gets fucked up, and then my gym gets fucked up. But instead of, I'll never lose sleep or lose my workout, I'll just shift everything forward. So if some shit happens in my life where I can't go to bed at like anywhere between 9 p.m. and like 11 p.m., then I'm just gonna move everything. So yeah, I didn't get out of the gym till about 3 p.m. today, and I had Chewy at home, so I just rolled back to the house, took a shower. I got a lot of shit to do anyways this weekend. We've got a Bloody Sunday drop, a little flash drop. It's MTV themed. She got a little Jackass rip right here. It's actually one of my favorite pieces we've ever made. It's iconic. I think it's like a good fit, obviously, with, having the knockoff Jackass show, Careless Teens, when I was like in high school, and just how much an inspiration Jackass has been to me growing up. But yeah. I also, speaking of which, went to the movies the other night, and I went and saw Bring Her Back. Holy fuck. Bro, I haven't had a movie like make me leave feeling gutted like that in a while. To me, like, I don't give a fuck about like a jump scare. Like, that's not like a good horror movie. That doesn't like actually scare me. For me, it's like fucked up visuals that I never thought I would see. And now with today's, like camera quality, tricks, and fucking makeup and like everything, I don't know if anyone out there's seen Bring Her Back, but bro, like the knife scene, the kid with the knife, I actually watched an interview of how they did that scene, and apparently it was like a bunch of fake teeth that were broken, and then all the little pieces of broken teeth had magnets on it, so that when they had the fake knife and he was biting it, it like could look like his teeth were shattering. And then they had a fake dummy head made of the kid's head, and then the kid did it with a fake knife, the actor who what was actually, I left some notes on this movie. What was that kid's name? In the movie, his name was Ollie, but dude, obviously Sally Hawkins is probably gonna win some kind of award for that performance. It was fucking amazing. But dude, that kid, I don't know if that movie would be that movie without that kid Ollie. Like him slowly becoming this like demonic demon that needs to feed is fucking terrifying. The movie fucked me up, man. And shout out I don't know if anyone out there knows about, the Rakaraka Boys. They're two twins from, I think, Australia, that started on YouTube and, like switched to Hollywood and made their own film. And we've seen this happen before, dude. Like the amount of like influencers that try to make a TV show or a movie and it ends up being absolute garbage. Bro, these guys, they did it. Their first movie they made was Talk to Me. Huge success. And they shot that during like COVID, and there was all these hiccups where like a studio wanted to fund it, but then gave them too many notes on it, so they ended up backing out, and then they seemed like they funded a lot themselves. I don't know. The whole thing is just super inspirational. I mean, even like in my life, like a guy from YouTube and shit. Like they did the dream. That's the fucking dream. They transitioned to film and in horror film. Like, I mean, dude, I'm just it's very inspiring. I think like the last time I felt that inspired was like seeing what Jordan Peele did. That was super sick. Coming from comedy and just out of nowhere making like classic horror movies. Like 99% of Rotten Tomatoes and shit. Like, that's fucked. But yeah, shout out the fucking Rakaraka Boys. Movie was incredible. It the one note I would say was I wish that I don't even know what you call it, character design on the older brother. I wish they like painted him like who he is a little more. Like, for some reason that's so important to me in a movie. Like, sell me on who he is to make him like relatable, and or just like what niche he's in is like sick. Like, and I think they could have did it within 5 minutes. Like, a couple scenes they could have added of maybe it was like his bedroom in his original home before his dad died or whatever. Like the posters that were on his wall, the music that he's playing, does he have a skateboard in his room? Does he have a BMX bike in his garage? Does he like paint what kind of kid he is? And they kind of did it with like the lifting weights and the creatine, but like, yeah, I think that was my only like little. I honestly, I think the note that I'm saying, it doesn't mean it's correct. It's just like what I thought, but like I think it is something that is like the first thing they actually pull when a movie's too long, or a script's too long, and like they got to like cut out some of the fat. I feel like since just like selling me on a character's traits isn't needed for the plot, it's probably the first shit to go, I would guess. I mean, I don't know. I love film, but when it comes to how film works and like all the moving parts to it, I'm definitely not saying I'm any fucking expert, boys. But I am fascinated by it, and I love to listen to like interviews and podcasts and videos and behind the scenes of films, like all that shit, and commentaries. Fuck, good movie though. I did have some other notes on it. Let me see. Oh yeah, so the sister Piper, who is partially blind. It was really cool. They did it near the beginning and they kind of did it near the end, but they would shoot I mean the sound design as well, but they would shoot scenes from her perspective. Like it would be blurred, or it would always focus on like her, touching the wall, or like what is this scene or this environment that her and her brother are walking into, but like, hey, let's show it from like her perspective, because it kind of paid off in the end too, when like spoiler alert, but like she's like the only one left alive, like, and she's being chased. It like really puts you in like, imagine being partially blind, not knowing what the fuck is going on, and then realizing that someone's trying to put a demon in you and turn you into Kathy, her daughter. What a wild fucking dude. Such an original, cool concept. I like that also the idea was unique. I have like, obviously people have done like demonic things, but like the little story of like how she could bring back her daughter in this weird way, like it was super easy to understand. It wasn't like too complex where it's one of those movies where you're like, they try to make you feel like dumb if you don't understand. Like I think anyone could understand it, but was still unique, which I think is like really hard to do. God, it was just really good. So I wanted to talk about it. I also binge watched Tires, Shane Gillis's new show with Derby season 2. Big upgrade in my opinion. It was really fucking good. Just, you know what it is, man? It's just an easy watch. I think it's, like, I think these streaming platforms are probably taking note and learning a lot from a show like Tires. I think that it's like low budget, you know, take someone with an existing following but is talented like Shane, let him write and work with all his friends, let him do cameos on the show with all his friends, and don't make it this big fucking thing. Like some of the greatest comedies when, like, in the 90s or the 2000s were just simple concepts with just like good writing, and like, and honestly, scratch good writing. I wouldn't even know if I'd say good writing. Good chemistry. Like that was everything. And like, if you've seen Jerby's and Shane even just do their podcast, it's the exact same chemistry. It's like you almost just think that like that's how they hang out when you're watching Tires, especially in season 2. And that chemistry is what is going to make that show go on and do fucking 10 seasons, in my opinion. Stravos also fucking hilarious. Everyone's just basically playing like a heightened version of themselves, it feels like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like, I didn't finish the season being like, wow, this was such a masterpiece of comedy fucking writing, and like you're just like, that was enjoyable. Like I was on the treadmill for fucking like 6 hours and I binge watched the whole season and enjoyed every second of it. And I also love I love the little like relationship that Shane gets into. I forget her name. I follow her on Instagram. She's really talented, very funny. Probably should know her name. I don't know if I wrote it down, but very funny. Shout out her. The female actor that gets in a relationship with Shane and then fucking cheats on him. That was a little too real. But yeah, it was fucking good, man. You know what? Speaking of like how Netflix, should be taking notes and all these streaming platforms should be taking notes of like a show like Tires, what it really makes me think of is like 5-10 years ago, there was this transitioning point of, people on the internet, influencers, YouTubers were starting to become kind of powerful, having these fan bases. And, like there was a thing called like YouTube Red or something. I don't know. There was like a couple of these platforms first tried to take the like Logan Pauls and the PewDiePies and the like the biggest people on the platform, and they tried to give them these shows. And I remember we even had a conversation at like with Nelk like way back in the day about getting a show through Full Screen was like one of the like companies. I don't know, but they're just like the worst show ever, because you basically took someone that has an existing audience and then did a big but shitty idea and threw a fuckload of money at it, fuckload of production value at it, and then tried to force their audience to come over and fuck with it. And it just never worked. And like now I think you're starting to see it done properly. And like the first time I really saw this done properly was shout out Jimmy Tatro, Simi Valley. I think like, again, simple idea, low budget, good chemistry because they're all friends. That's amazing. I think it only went to like Facebook Watch or something, like whatever, Facebook funded it so we could do a couple seasons of it. That's like, shout out to them. But I think that was the only thing that stopped that from being like possibly bigger. But like, yeah, if Simi Valley was on fucking Netflix, like, dude, they'd be on season 5 right now or something. Like that show was amazing. I don't think it works for anyone with just a following, anyone with a fan base. Like just because you have a following, like I don't like David Dobrik. Like, no, I'm not taking shots at him. I just like, he's obviously talented at what he's accomplished, but like from what I know, I don't know if he like is an amazing actor or a great writer or great comedy timing, or I mean, like I don't know if he has like a skill on that, like that I would be like, that's the person to do it with. Like But I do think if you take someone with like a dedicated audience and they do have a good talent and they kind of have like a crew, they have a circle that they work with, give them like a small budget show. Give them like just like Tires. It was like 6 episodes. How much does that really fucking cost? For like for like companies like Netflix and shit like that. Like it's probably fucking nothing. You know what I mean? Like like Steve and Churdleys and like that whole fucking I'm butchering a bunch of their names, but like if you guys know like Churdley's videos, him and like Steve and a bunch of the other guys make like comedy skits. Like all those guys are funny. All of them have good chemistry. They have a bunch of different characters they play. It all bangs on social media. Let those guys write a show. You know what I mean? Nick Coletti, let that guy write a fucking pilot. You know what I mean? Get him in there with Tara Reid. Fucking, what else comes to mind? I'm trying to pretend like if I was a studio head, who would I be like tossing like 250 grand to and being like, bro, go make a pilot of whatever the fuck you want with you and your friends. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking no brainer. Friday Beers, Angus, Will, all those guys. Like, if you guys haven't watched Friday Beer, like there's a moment there where like Friday Beers is like skit comedy on YouTube is like outperforming and just straight up better than SNL, like straight up, like in my opinion. And I'm a little biased because I know the guys and like I used to work on like design their collections and stuff, but like I did that before I even saw them do the skit shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like I just like slowly watched them grow that, and oh man, it's just like no one's touching their like their writing. It's like their own style. Like every skit idea, you like think it's gonna be a simple this, whatever the title thumbnail is and how it starts, and it just goes completely left field, just like a shroom trip of a fucking experience, which is like kind of becoming their like their unique style in my opinion. But dude, they're just why do those guys not have a Netflix show? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. That'd be a wild job though. Being like I don't even know, what was that called? Like a studio head? Damn, that is something I've definitely thought of too, is like, you know, like building brands and fucking build, like writing and doing shows, whether I'm acting or just like producing them, like all this stuff. Like I have really thought of like, hey dude, like one day, when a lot of this stuff's streamlined, like what is like some big things I want to do. And obviously one of them's like always been, you know, movies. And even that was like, I've like recently been writing a lot of shorts because I'm just like, it just like really hit me when I've put this pedestal of a film that's like, dude, I've never made a movie before. Like you really get one shot at it. Like why am I trying to like, why did I just fucking leap right over a short film? Like I should just, which is basically just like a scene. Like go like, I mean even a scene. Like I think about that too. Like I've had this like film, it's like 5 years old, that I've been like, it's just like on the side working on, called Weed Lake Drive. It's the street that the Cloud House is on. And if you were partying in LA, you know, 5 years ago, you know about Weed Lake Drive. It's like a horror movie. That maybe I'll break into another day. Basically, it's about the devil in LA. The whole like selling your soul to the devil, like the classic story that I just always thought it was so wild that like no one's really touched that. There's like a few examples I know, but like yeah, just like the classic like sell your soul to the devil to get everything you want. I'll dive into when my life's a little more streamlined, my brands are a little more streamlined. Maybe Happy Dad sales, you know, like I got some money. I'm chilling, but like I don't have like fuck around and blow a couple million trying to make a movie kind of money. Like if I blew a couple million, I'd be stressing a bit, you know? So like Yeah, maybe one day Happy Dad sells, and I don't know if it'd be right into like, hopefully by then I've like shot some scenes. I've maybe made like a short film or a couple, and just like really just learned as much as I can. Like I'm in no rush to be like I need to make a movie before I'm 35 or some shit. Like I just know that that's on the list. Life's long. I got lots of time. And it gives me lots of time to like just keep writing, like write. And I'm not saying like one idea, like just keep writing. Like my dude, you should see my notes. My notes on my phone and my iPad is fucked. And it'll be like an app idea. Then it will be like a dog daycare concept, and then it'll be like a vintage coffee retail build out, and then it'll be a collection idea. Then it'll be like a brand new sunglass brand idea, like and then a movie idea and a song idea. Like it's so manic. Like if you looked at my notes, you would truly understand how my brain works, because everything I just said sometimes that could be in my notes from like for a 24-hour day. Like it's crazy. Like I should just fucking let me see. Sunday Closet. This was a tab on our bloodysunday.com website where it's all the like vintage pieces. Like I buy a lot of vintage. Sometimes it's even for like sampling design ideas I like in inspo, and sometimes it's just to find like new silhouettes to recreate for Sunday. But yeah, the idea was for Sunday Closet is like where if like this influx of vintage clothing and samples that I buy, where if we resold them on a tab on the website, so that like, you know, instead of me just holding on to them all, like I have fucking a warehouse filled with samples and clothes. It's like, I think there's people out there that would like, you know, maybe just fuck with like, hey, this is Jesse's curated vintage collection. I want to buy some pieces. But they also might be interested in like, damn, this is like the bomber jacket that created the Sunday silhouette. Like, I think that's kind of cool. It's like you're buying a piece of history. So yeah, like, sorry, I'm diving into that too deep, but that was an idea today. Carl reacts. I can't even explain. It'll take too long to. It's a character. You guys have maybe seen it from Shithole and like some prank videos I've done. It's like this Carl character that wears Oakley shades and like a Monster Energy hat and like a fucking jersey, and he's kind of a douchebag. I had this idea of creating that persona like as a real identity that I actually live on a weekly basis. And I don't know how I could explain this really quick. Basically, this character, I would actually become this character. And Carl would have his own Instagram. Carl would have his own YouTube channel. I would rent a home, like a shitty little like trailer park, like an hour from here. And I'd buy a shitty little Honda Civic, like literally like one day a week, I go be Carl. I just live as this like fake character and find out who this character is by just like who's Carl's neighbor, who's Carl's girlfriend, who's Carl, like where's Carl work, like what does Carl get up to, and just like build his social media following, like just completely being someone else. And the whole idea stems from like I've been wanting to make like a hidden camera prank movie, kind of like Bad Grandpa, but I wanted to base it around this Carl character. It's got this like backstory shit I was gonna do, but like then I started just researching like building out the character profile of Carl, and that's what made me think of that today, because I was like I should just go fucking like physically be this character to learn his dialogue, to learn like to make decisions every day until I just like figure it out. And then it's kind of cool because if I did that for like a year, I like technically if I did it right, Carl could like build his own following. And like what better way to pitch Carl, the hidden camera, you know, prank movie to a streaming platform if like he already built his own following as a fictional character that people didn't even know was me until now. But and leg extensions, picking up girls, hidden camera skit. I think this was like I don't know. Not all the ideas are great. Dude, this is wild. Fate film idea. This is a big boy. This is the one that I put a lot of work into today. Like sometimes I'm just like boom, like I'll be like driving and I'll just like voice note it, and sometimes I'll like lose track of time and be because I'm like so into this idea I had. Again, guys, this is today. This is today. Like it's like this is why I don't get a lot of work done. I'm fucked in the head. Okay, this might be too big to kind of explain really quickly. Let me think. Let me have a sip. Maybe how about I pack a chew and damn, dude, I'm wearing it's like a lot of red. By the way, these are so sick. We never even sold these. I think I like personally made 50 full send mugs back when we were living at Fredonia, that mansion in the hills. And I just made them for cause we had like 50 employees. So it'd be like staff would always come over to like the massive coffee machine we had. So I just made me and Clay, who did our sourcing. We just made a bunch of these and I took like fucking a box of these home. Pretend you guys are the studio and I'm going to pitch you this TV show movie idea. I might as well just let me just read it out loud. And I'll explain. Remember, this is not like I sat at a computer and properly edited this. Like this is like literally running on a treadmill and like jamming buttons trying to get like the idea out of my head. Okay, so the film is called Fate AI. And that would be like the company in this like futuristic world that we're in. In a future setting with AI technology, people who are sad and lonely and desperately want a life partner sign up for this new service called Fate AI. What a Fate AI does is hooks everything about you going forward while downloading as much of your past that it can. Past relationships, watch history, conversations, purchases, everything finding you a perfect match. So like we already know that this is gonna happen, like things like this, but picture if it could download. You gotta think too, like not even my generation, the next like the people that are like 10 years old right now, in 10 years when they're like, old, like they're 22 and they're gonna, want to hook up to a dating service like this. Their entire life is going to be online. Like everything, every conversation, every thought, every like search history, like content they watched and downloaded, and like how much time they spent on each piece of content. Were they looking at the screen? What content were they more engaged in? Like, dude, the amount of information 10 years from now that it's going to have on people is crazy, scary, but like it's hard to even like wrap my head around it. So picture this service now understands every part of your being. It knows you better than you know yourself. But imagine that was used as a dating service. So it now it does the exact same thing to millions of other people, right? But instead of just, hey, everything about you and everything about you, you two will really connect, or like so you can swipe, or like the thing what's wrong with these like dating apps is like when you do find a match, when you are like, hey, this person's attractive, or what they wrote is interesting to me, or this app is telling me that we have a connection. Oh, fuck. Hold up, boys. Battery's dying. All right, we are back. My bad. I should have probably checked out the battery situation. The retention on these videos is going to be fucking dick. But I think for the few of you that are enjoying this and don't mind just fucking, chilling with me while you're driving to work in traffic, or you're fucking, you're cleaning your house, or maybe you're like working or whatever you're doing. I'm hoping that this channel can just be like something you can depend on and like to just like leave on. I'm not going to fucking edit these like a Mr. Beast video, like I'm only going to make this as content that I actually like to engage into, which is 4 hours of Shane and Matt's secret podcast talking about history, like, or like just talking about dicks and buttholes. Like, it's like, I like to just feel like I'm in the room chilling with people that I feel like I relate to. And that's what I want to do with this channel. So it won't be for you, everyone. It might not be for you, but I do know that there will be some people that like enjoy this. And I enjoy doing it this way. And it's super low lift. And my brain is now talking about something else. Let's get back into Fate AI. AI knows your whole profile, knows their whole profile, and it finds matches, right? And we're saying that like basically apps are already kind of doing this, but the main problem that I found, and it's almost like something you would say, like say if you met your last partner on a dating app, and I know I've thought this. I've been like, I mean, not even a dating app. It could just be like social media. But like I've had this thought, if you're kind of like a hopeless romantic person, which I think a lot of people are, it does kind of bug you that you're like, yeah, like she DM'd me, or I DM'd her, or like, oh, we swiped each other on Tinder, or like when someone's like, how'd you guys meet? Like, I think that does bug people, and I know it's bugged me. And everyone wants to just like naturally meet someone at a fucking coffee shop, or like in a fucking movie, like, the good old fashioned way. It's just like fate. It's just fate. So the idea of this service was like trying to use all the power of technology, like modern and even in the future, like technology of AI, but still making it fate. So what this now does, I might have to read this. Basically, you speak to the device that is attached to your car, Apple Watch, phone, home speakers, blah, blah, blah. Like basically we already have an electronic device connected to us at all times. This Fate AI is in your system. It's with you everywhere. It listens to who you are and who you want to be, leading you to natural interactions with your soulmate, who also signed up for the same thing. It does not find one perfect match. It finds thousands and then puts you in situations to see if the magic happens. Think of it as a scratch ticket that has million chances to win. If you meet someone, or say you're talking to someone, and you find like someone on Instagram, or someone on a dating app, before you actually get to know them, you're already looking at like photos, you're looking at captions, you're like analyzing this person's life and who you think they are before you get to know them. That's the biggest problem. It's there's no mystery, you know what I mean? And I think that's what just meeting someone naturally can do. I mean, even in today's time, if you meet someone naturally, chances are, if you're like, hey, do you want to get coffee? You're probably going to follow each other on Instagram like pretty quickly. And then you can't help it. Like, people are going to like analyze each other. And just think, like, 30 years ago, that wasn't a thing. You just had to like go spend time with them. And then eventually you'd like meet their friends. And then eventually you'd see their home. And then eventually you'd meet their family, and like, and find out what hobbies they do and what gym they work out at. And like, you would find out their world slowly, naturally. And that's just like not realistic anymore. So basically, what I'm saying, Fate AI in this like movie idea, this is very like Black Mirror-ish. This device, this Siri that is like talking to you and helping you like throughout your day, it doesn't tell you where to go. It doesn't go like forcing you to do anything, but it knows what other people, thousands of other people, are also doing. And it knows which ones that it thinks you would match with. And it just suggests things that you should go do in your area. Or like, say it knows that you have a vacation coming up, or it knows that, you have a meeting downtown LA. So it recommends to like, there's a happy hour on this bar top. But maybe it also recommends that to someone that you would match with. So it just puts you in the same room, puts you in the same setting with people that it thinks you would match with, but you don't know who that person is. And you also don't know when Fate AI is even doing that. Does that make sense? I don't know if it's like only in my head, but like, so basically it puts you in positions for fate, for that magic to naturally happen. And I don't think anyone's ever like touched this. And it's kind of one of those ideas where I'm like, this actually could be like a real service or a real app one day too. But I really think that it'd be cooler to just like not figure out any of those dumbass logistics, like, and just like write a script, because it's like way funner. You can just like make it whatever you want. And then I was trying to find like, the Black Mirror, like what would be the twist. I don't want this to be a fucking happy ending, like it's got to be dark somehow. And like, so this the service that it does makes sense to me, of like that could actually be a real thing. And that especially if say like millions of people do it, and they could say that it has a 99% success rate of like finding a match a natural way, and that was their marketing angle. But what I was thinking is, now that you're like found your partner, it doesn't shut off. So if like, so you say you got like a girl and a boy, and they're now dating, they both use this service, but it still tracks everything, every conversation, everything that's going on. And if it notices that like there's a lot of arguments, or the girl's pulling away a bit, or the guy's pulling away a bit, or like whatever, it could like start recommending, like in its own way, naturally, because you don't know it's doing it. It could start recommending other people that are like matched with her or matched with him into their life, so that they now are being tested with like better options. So it almost like could break you up. And then I was thinking like, well, why would it do that? What would it benefit? But then I was like, ooh, where if it's almost like it's because they didn't know there was a tier system. So people that pay like more money get better benefits. And like, it could almost get creepy to the way where if there was like a god tier, for that, like that 50-year-old, like multi-millionaire, like weirdo that's like, I want that hot model girl that is in love and has a boyfriend. But because there's this service, the service could actually like manipulate, like recommend things they do that like makes them fall apart, and puts him and the girl I'm just using an example, in a setting that makes her fall in love with him, because it knows her so well. So like that would be the twist, is that like it's this service that like brings people together and makes them fall in love. But because other people, like capitalism is like paying more, it can actually like your relationship isn't even safe. Like nothing is like, I don't know. I got to flush out that idea. Again, I was on a fucking treadmill when I wrote this. Y'all judging it. Y'all don't like it. Scrapping it. Yeah, my brain. I think that's what I'm going to title this motherfucking video. My brain.